I'm a communication guy. Every time people talk to me about communication, they want to show me posters, and they want to show me coffee mugs, and they want to show me hats, and they want to show me all this stuff, and they want to show me logos, and they want to show me the slogan, and and I'm like, stop, I don't want to see any of that stuff, because that stuff doesn't really change behavior. That's just stuff we're doing, but it's not really having any effect. And I want to encourage you today, and I'll conclude today with, we really need to do the hard stuff. That means to sit down and have a good look at our safety communication, our confined space, our log out and tag out things, our management of change, and we need to sit down and redo those things so that they are supervisor oriented. So those are the 3 points I'm going to make today. Let's start with 1. Supervisors are the silver bullet. This book is Diffusion of Innovations. It's written by Professor Everett Rogers. Unfortunately, Professor Rogers died about 5 years ago. He's the most important name in my field, the field of communication. This is the most cited book in the field of communication. It's one of the 10 most cited books in all of the social sciences. I'm going to give you now in like 2 minutes the single most important point that's in this book. One of the key things this book has to say is that the hypodermic needle theory is in fact wrong. This is the way most people think about communication, and it is the wrong way to think about communication. And what the hypodermic needle says is that, look, you get your stuff, whether it's your newspaper articles, your posters, your emails, your brochures, all that stuff we do, and you kind of poke that into employees, you squeeze this thing, you squeeze the message into them, and they change. What we know is that this doesn't work, that communication doesn't work that way. Rogers' book shows that roughly 2 to 3% of people will change their behavior based on a mediated message in this format. So the major thing we are continually doing is just blasting people with information about safety isn't going to change behavior. We know that that doesn't change behavior. Instead, what Rogers shows is that changing behavior is a 2-step flow. You do need these things. It's not that they're a waste of time. They are worth doing. But you have to understand what they do. They create awareness. They make people aware that there's a behavior you want them to do, but they don't change. They just become aware. What drives the change is when there's personal influence. When this person, in this case the supervisor, says, now this is what I want you people to do, that's what drives the change. So you have to have awareness that there's a change that's desirable, that the company wants. But secondly, you have to have personal influence, primarily at the supervisor level, where that person says, hey guys, I actually want you to do this. I know you've seen the posters, I know you've heard the presentations, I know you spoke to the plant manager. I want you to do this. That's what drives behavior change. So if I just quickly take you to some pieces of research. This is Professor Cisco Van Az, works at the University of Kronenberg. He's done a beautiful study of 8 Dutch chemical plants, and he correlates a number of variables and the occurrence of serious accidents in those 8 plants across a 5-year period. And what he finds is that by far the highest correlation is between informal, casual, face-to-face conversation with supervisors about safety issues and the occurrence of accidents. And the correlation he gets is negative 0.65. Which means roughly that square that correlation, that's roughly 42% of serious accidents in Dutch chemical plants can be explained by the presence or absence of good informal face-to-face conversation with supervisors. You see where I'm going with this? I mean, we can produce all the stuff we want. We can produce all the standards, all the policies, all the procedures, all the safety bulletin, all the accidents reports. That's fine. We can produce all that stuff. We just don't get behavior change. We don't get behavior change because you've got to have that point of personal influence. That's what drives the change. That's where our supervisors are at. They're the key to taking what was just words and making it behavior change.